I love it. Shallow, shallow. You can see her smiling face.
Started. Let's bring Tawnie into Instagram. Hey, y'all on Facebook, YouTube, y'all. We are connected and we got it going right this time. Let's bring Tawnie in here.
Woohoo!
Oh, there you go. Shalom.
Shallow. Yes. It's working. Let us know.
There we go. Because it was trying to freak you out. We are connected, y'all. Everything is rolling on all.
It is funny.
Wait, I'm hearing a.
You hear it? Let us know if you guys hear the reverb. I'm pulling it up on all the. I tried to share it to the chat. Why does it still say interview? This is not an interview.
I think you're staticking, like your internet is staticking in and out, but it'll come through in a second. Can you guys hear us on both?
For some reason, you're pixelated on my end and I look fine. So I'm sure it's me. But I'm pretty.
Wait, so what did you say?
I said, you look pixelated, but I look okay. But it's probably my internet.
And it's actually on this screen, you look and I look fine. So whatever, guys, let us know. Can you hear us on both? So if you're on YouTube or Instagram or Facebook, can you please let us know that you hear us?
I can see you. And on Facebook, I finally can see you guys. It looks good on Facebook. On Facebook, we look great. No blurriness.
Okay, so perfect. We just gonna roll with it.
Yeah, we're just gonna go.
Wherever y'all can see it.
We appreciate you. Seriously, technology and life.
But that's what the great thing is. We still smile through it all. And that takes us to today's topic, guys. Even though we look fine, we may not be fine. So I need y'all to understand, on the stroke survivor side, the loved ones and caretaker side, our friends, our guys, please have grace with stroke survivors. Please, it's great to be a part of communities to understand this process of this lifelong survivors live. So I get so many things as in from loved ones, caretakers, or just survivors, also a warrior from having to deal with all these things that we deal with in life, still being able to smile in spite of still seeing of feeling like crap. It's crap. You may not have the energy. You may be super depressed that day. You may, and then guess what? You're still able to smile through it all. And the simple fact that you may have on the other end somebody say, "Oh, you look so good. You look normal. You don't look like anything is wrong with you. So what do you mean you still have pain? What do you mean you still feel down or depressed? You went through this whole thing." And I lost my girl Tawnie. She's gonna come back in here shortly. Hi, I want to bride life with mermaid. Somebody said on YouTube. So we're gonna keep going. Tawnie's gonna come back in here, guys. It's probably internet connection. Yeah, she's coming back in. Mermaid. I'm gonna take that. He's saying he loves.
Yeah. Brandon was being sweet. I was hoping it was my Wi-Fi and that I could turn it off, but my Wi-Fi wasn't on, and then it kicked me out of the live. So apologies, but we are Facebook.
Oh, no, you're all good.
And YouTube is going good. So talking about that, because of the fact that I really never had the physical deficits. Well, I mean, my eye was crossed in for 2 months, so I was wearing a patch. Like, you could look at me and be like, something's not right. But it was very apparent when I was with my family this last couple weeks, because they even said, I thought you were.
Hey, so real quick, I want somebody to please, let us know if you can hear Tawnie, because it sounds like you're very.
Can you hear Tracy okay? I'm gonna wait. I don't know if I talk, if it like goes through is better or not. I feel on YouTube oh good. You don't need to be mean. You just go. Bye. Bloop.
I can't. So I can't hear. You're again on my end. You're very pixelated. So if somebody could comment and let me know that you can hear Tawnie clearly, and I'll ignore the fact that it's pixelated on my end. I just want to make sure you guys can hear her.
On YouTube, they can hear me fine, but
loud and clear. Okay, perfect. Thank you.
So
YouTube, we're loud and clear. So listen, we're good. So one of the systems might be a little pixelated, but we're gonna roll with it anyway, y'all. So Tawnie, if you could try to talk now, I want to make sure that they can hear you.
Okay.
And it may be me.
We'll find out on the replay. Either way, we're just going to keep going because YouTube and Michael said you can hear me loud and clear. So I had my second brain surgery June 2023. Okay. So they were like, you're a year out. Like I thought, because I was helping them garden and I knew I'm not going to mow the lawn, but like just moving around the house, doing up down stuff, like my vertigo is still kind of there. And my mom was like, I thought it was better. Like, you don't talk about it all the time. And I'm like, why would I every day say, hey, I feel dizzy. Oh my God, I got that dizzy thing again. I had to sit down. Like, number one, it gets irritating saying that. And also, what I found with my depression and anxiety, when I talk about those things too much, it triggers it more. So it's not that I'm trying to mask and make it not happen, which there was a phase of my healing where I did. I told everybody I was fine, and I was clearly not fine. So we have worked on that, but I have just found I try to just like be very present, live with the right now, and just get through it.
And I love that. I totally love that. As you're stating, you're going through these things, and somebody that's close to you, as your mom, is saying, hey, I thought you were fine. And the reality is, because you don't complain about it all the time, people feel that it's gone. So that's what we talk about, these invisible disabilities. And we can't just have one conversation on this. We have to constantly bring it up because we're dealing with it. People on the outside are, and I'm going to say you're dealing with it. As loved ones and caretakers, you're dealing with it because you may hear it and then you're like, oh, shucks. That's a kick to your stomach because you're like, hey, I thought she was fine. I thought because he or she wasn't complaining or talk about it all the time, I didn't think it bothered you all the time. But this is why this conversation is great. And as Tawnie said, she doesn't talk about it as much because it kind of heightens it. And I will take that myself and say, I really don't talk about it at all because I kind of go with the thing. Yes, when I speak it out loud, it's like I'm living it more. So even though I may be dealing with the pains or like the neuropathy or the tiredness or the heaviness of the affected side, I don't like to talk about it because that's just me. That's my reaction. I don't like to bring it out because it's like, I feel like I'm living it in that moment. But guys, let it be known that I still have all these pains and all these adverse reactions post-stroke. I'm left affected. So literally, I make jokes out of it like, there we go with the left side, or left side don't feel like working today, or left side is heavy, or my family makes jokes like, oh, your left side didn't feel like waking up this morning. All of these things, because close people around me, they see it. But guys, I'm not speaking it all the time. And it's just how I live life. And Tawnie's not speaking all the time. It's how I maybe, if we spoke about it more, it may help somebody else understand that, hey, I do have these things. And it's like I'm not by myself. So it's like the unspoken or the unknown, guys, that we deal with, which is the invisible disabilities. But I don't know, Tawnie, it's like, as we're talking about, we're having this conversation, should we possibly speak about it more so people can understand that it is prevalent, that it is something that we deal with on a day-to-day basis? Do you think that will help more, or even for ourselves, help us in our quote unquote healing process. So it's a question that I'm kind of wondering as we're speaking about it.
I think it's a great question, and it's something that will change in your healing journey, depending on your day, depending on how you feel. Listen, when I had built up spinal cord fluid and my head hurt, there were a lot of days when you asked me how I felt, I said I felt like my head's going to pop off. Like I was very obvious and about it and telling people, what was wrong. Um, and I say a lot of times I heal loudly. I talk about my depression and anxiety. I think every day in some way or some form, I talk about it, and it is somewhere on my social media. Yet I still have people who are close to me. I'm not just saying online people who are like, oh, so your depression is gone, or like, oh, you're all better. And I'm just like, and I, at first I'm like, am I not doing a good enough job? Am I not healing loud enough that they don't hear me? That I say I have better tools, that I manage my anxiety and depression not just day, every second is different. Every new thing that happens, it didn't go away. I've just learned, I've gotten more practice and more tools with it. But I've just learned that some people, first of all, don't want to hear it. Doesn't matter if you're saying it to them or not. Some people aren't ready to hear that stuff yet. So I do think it's important. And that's why, like, I felt it was someone else's thing talking about their invisible illness. Like, yeah, I exaggerate my symptoms. I exaggerate how good I feel. And I was like, because I was like, oh my God, that hit me. Because everybody, you talk to me, like my mom and my grandma were like, I thought you were so much better. And I'm like, it's not that I'm worse. It's just, I don't want to
Yeah.
talk about that all the time. And like you said, you make jokes out of it. That's how I deal. That's how I deal. Most of
Yeah.
you guys think, oh, she's just a ditzy, silly mermaid. I used to literally cry when I could not think of a word, when my memory wasn't working, when something didn't flow nicely in my brain. I would immediately be like, my brain's messed up. I'm like a whole spiral. Now you see me 8 years out going, oops, I forgot that word, whatever, and then move on,
Yeah.
because I've learned how to deal that. Dark humor makes a lot of people feel better. 100%. I think it helps a lot of us through it. And here's the thing, your body doesn't know the difference between a joke or reality. So I know some people, that's a double-edged sword, what I'm telling you. I like it because I'm going to laugh through the worst times. When I found out my brain was literally bleeding, I go, I guess I'm right. Like, my first thing was make a joke out of it. But I just think, I don't know, however you get through. So what do you do? Because I know you say that you joke about it, you talk about it, but you also don't, which is, what we have to
Yeah,
do.
so I do. So I do. I'm the same as Tawnie. That's why I would tell you, Tawnie is my sister. We're the same person, just on two different spectrums. Like I joke about everything, and it's like that's to me is the way I heal loudly and at the same time heal quietly because it's a joke. And I look at it as a joke on the end that I'm more of an optimist as I don't want to use it as, oh my gosh. So think about it. Let's look at this, let's level this playing field to say on one end I can joke. So my left hand, we're joking all the time. On the right hand, I'm speaking out loud of all the pains and the symptoms or depression that I go through. How do you think that's gonna look? If I keep joking, I'm lifting myself up, I'm smiling about it. If I keep speaking out loud about all the negative things that I'm going through, guess what? I'm not gonna be smiling about it all the times, guys. That right there that I'm speaking on it is going to turn my smile into a frown. So that's how I look at it as to why I don't. I can live every day and say, oh my gosh, if I literally told y'all the pains that I'm going through every day, you'd be like, oh my gosh, she's just walking death. So guess what? I, on the other end, think about saying, hey, yes, I do deal with that. If somebody asks me, hey, you just don't deal with anything, you don't deal with any pains, you don't have any sensory, I do deal with that. But I learned not to allow that to take over me. I'm learning there's better ways that I live with it. I've learned how to control it. I've learned how to, guess what? Down days, I'm going to go to the gym. I need sunlight. I need to get out. I need to be active. So that's how I take it out. You on the other end, you have to learn how what's best for your body to say, hey, I'm going through all these symptoms. Are you one of those people to say, hey, I'm speaking all the time about my symptoms, about depression, about my pain. How is that helping you? And it's a question, guys. How is that helping you? So when you're speaking about it all the time, is that making you feel better? The right people will grab it. Is that making you feel better, or would you say that it's keeping you in a sucking place?
Yeah.
Me, it doesn't make me feel better. So that's why I choose not to.
Like, are you processing it, or are you just venting
Yes,
and
absolutely.
ruminating on the same thing? Because there is, and sometimes you do have to have people. I mean, my mom she was like, you beating yourself up like this is not helping. And sometimes at the time you don't want to hear that. But like you said, when you just focus on the good, because even when there's tons of bad things, I just am grateful that I am optimistic, and I always was like, it will get better. Like, even when I'm like, feel like, oh my God, I need to go to the like, this is so bad. Like, my face is going numb, like all these things. I'm like, oh God, it's happening again. I'm like, it's either going to get better or it's going to get worse. And I'm going to breathe through it, because we all have a 100% success rate. Every one of us here, if you're watching this, you have made it through the worst things that have happened to you, and you will continue. It made me feel so much worse when I dwelled on it. Same thing. It's like when something hurts really bad, I don't want to talk about that. Like, I'm like, keep me distracted. In fact, with my eye crossed in, I only have one photo where you can see my wonky eye. All the other photos, I'm patched up and it's covered. And so it's like really interesting. Like, I didn't even want to like document that, Tawnie. Like, no. Yeah. I was always funny in every single video that I was sending to people, even when I'm in the hospital, laying in bed with an eye patch on, and I'm like being silly.
And you're making on. Yeah. So a thought that just came to my head that takes me to somebody, actually, I don't remember when, but I don't remember what scenario I was doing or what brought this, but somebody mentioned, they were like, oh, so are you a masochist? In a sense, it was like, so do you, so the thing is, I'm one of those, and I've had it in a couple of different situations. The more pain I'm in, I don't say I go and add more pain. Like, the more pain I'm in, like if I'm, like, say for instance, if you ever see me in the gym and I may have, and I just did it the other day, like, or last week, if all week I lived super heavy, like I was doing hack squat and I had 7 plates on each side and I was in massive pain, but guess what? I continued to add more weight on, more weight on, more weight on. And guess what? Me adding more weight on in the gym made me ignore the pain that my body was having. So it's like, when somebody said, are you a masochist? It was like, I laughed, but it was like, guess what? I kind of defeat my pain with more pain, but there's a love for my pain, because my pain that I put on myself in the gym, I actually love it because I'm building growth and I'm building myself in a different way. So it's like, hey, my body is going through all these pain sensories that I cannot control. So I'm not going to sit in the house and say, oh my God, I'm in so much pain, I can't do anything about it. I'm going to say, guess what? I'm about to get my butt up and go to the gym and cause pain that I actually enjoy. So that's how I look at it, guys. So that's how I look at it. So on those days, you may see me in the gym. And I just told somebody on TikTok last night, I said, on Friday I'm going to remember to take my tripod, because they were like, can we see you in the gym doing all this crazy weight? I'm going to take my tripod finally and record how I process these things of pain. I literally turn it into a joy that I can focus on versus sit in, focus on the pain that I'm going through.
I love that. Someone did say, I still won't record my progress. I wish I recorded more in my early things. I wish at physical therapy I had those videos. So like, I'm not telling you to, and I will say right now, a lot of my videos, like my little depressy where I'm talking to myself, I recorded those and like put those away. Like, I'm never going to look at those again. Those are never going to see the light of day. So I always suggest record. You don't have to look at it. You don't have to ever post it. You don't have to ever do anything with it. But what is nice about recording your progress is you will see progress. When you feel like, I don't notice anything, and I used to say this, it's 1 step forward and 2 steps back, and why can't I get a break? Do all those things. And then I will look at a video and I'm like, hold up. You used to, and even when the second brain surgery, I was like, it feels great. I'm back to square one. I'm like, no, you're not. No, you're not, because this time you have a community. This time you have more knowledge. You know what you're doing. Like, this is completely different. And how wonderful I get to now have a different experience going through it.
Yes. Absolutely. I absolutely love that. And it is, I was just speaking with that. I have some videos that I recorded. It was an app. I said I was gonna look at it. It may be called like Video to Go or Journal to Go. So it's a logo cam or something like that. So what that is it's a video journal. And so it's like that's something you can record your progress or something as. And I hadn't opened it in a few years. And I remember somebody asked, they were like, well, do you have videos before? So literally, long story short, I went into that app. As long as you'll delete the app off the phone, I have videos from 2019, like the week of my stroke, like talking to myself, like, what the hell? But so that right there, I won't go back and listen to them or show it, but that's great to have that as process. Like, dude, I couldn't even talk in 2019. Like, I remember friends talking about it, like, girl, we would call you or FaceTime and you look like you want to be okay. And then it was go. I have one particular incident that one of my girlfriends, she said, I was so scared. I was on FaceTime with you, you were talking, and then you just closed your eyes and went blank. So she's like, I thought you like stroked out again. So I mean, she called me crying, like, I thought you would like went into. So it's great to see that process. Like, even looking at my video, like I'm talking, I would blank out on the video. And because my brain was still trying to process what was going on. And I'm like, at one point, it'll be literally 5 seconds of me talking. Then the next point, and then I may wake up a minute later and keep talking. So it's like how Tawnie was saying, recording something like that journal is beautiful. You're not going to always post it, but to have it to go back and say, hey, like she said, we have 100% progress. If we're at this point we are today, because where we were, we're not there. So even if it was yesterday, you couldn't move. Yesterday, you had a horrible day. Today that we're alive, we still get a chance to live a better day, to be able to smile. And in spite of all the things we're going through, it's progress, y'all.
And I want to also talk to the people and to the person who, on those days when you have a great day and then you overdid it, so then the next day you feel worse. And on those days, I used to like, I'll never be able to do all this stuff. And you beat yourself up. It's like, stop. On those days, just get more rest. Be kinder to yourself. Like, what would you do with a kid after they had a long day? Would you be like, that's it, go run laps, get over it? Like, I know Tracey loves her exercise, but what's awesome is Tracey has trained her body to want the adrenaline or whatever, but also my abs feel sore, Tracey. They still, and I was like, I need to do more ab stuff, and so I get it, because I'm like, ooh, they hurt. I'm like, that means I used them, so I want to use them more.
Yes, it's a good thing.
And I do see when you're like, at least I signed up for that. That's kind of like with my hair when I did the side shave. I'm like, if they're gonna take my hair, I'm gonna take it first. So like, especially in your healing journey, taking a sense of control back, I think is so empowering and important. So whatever you got to do to help you through that time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree 1,000%. Like, the healing out loudly. And as Tawnie literally just said, I'm just going to reiterate, obtain inner peace. Oh, I love that. Yes. And that's what it's about, obtaining inner peace. And so actually, thank you for that, because it's better than what I was going to say. My inner peace is, guys, we're talking about our experiences, but we're also asking questions for you to think about how you react to your invisible disabilities, how you react to this healing process of, is it better for you to heal out loudly, or you keep it inside? And you got to learn, you got to assess yourself, assess your everyday life, how you react with your loved ones, how you react when you're by yourself, to say, hey, you know what, this that I've been doing previously has not been the best for me, so let me maybe start healing out loudly. Let me maybe start figuring out where my outlet is to make me feel better when I'm having those days that I'm in a lot of pain. So it's, guys, that's why we have these conversations, y'all. We're telling you our experiences, but we are all different, and we can't tell you what's best for you. We're just speaking about and giving you ideas and giving you ways that we're doing it. So again, at the end of the day, we want you to learn how to love and live life in the best way possible in this process of recovery, y'all.
Exactly. I can't add anything more. That was perfect. Cherry on top.
Yo, we love y'all. Wait, I will, before we end, I will be live tonight on TikTok, so I can answer all the questions you guys have been sending me. I will do live exercises, symbols, and things like that. But I really want to create 2 Zoom calls, one for stroke survivors and then one for our loved ones and caretakers, because of the process of, it's so important to educate our loved ones and caretakers about these invisible disabilities, about ways to heal. And even when we cannot express how we're healing, they need to learn, they need to know these things, because I don't want you to feel like, hey, I don't know how to help the survivor. But that's why we have to have this community to come together to have these conversations, say, how can I help you more? How can I help you live a healthier, happier life? So someone did on live yesterday, did suggest September 24th. I believe that may be a Tuesday. I gave the options of a 12 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Eastern, which is a 10 Pacific. And then I also gave the option of either 12 p.m. or 7 p.m. And people picked the 12. So I'm throwing that out there, guys. I will put up another poll to say, hey, we got 12 p.m. on September 24th or 7 p.m. What works better for y'all?
Put a poll in our channel too. You can put a poll.
Oh yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that. So I'm gonna throw that out there, guys. So we're about to end this, but we will see y'all next Tuesday. But on the 24th, we're gonna have a Zoom. So I'll put a poll up to see what's best for y'all. And if you want to jump on and join me tonight, if Tawnie's available, you know your girl will jump on. Join me tonight on TikTok. We're just going to have a conversation for survivors, and whatever questions you got, we go get it going. So love y'all. We'll catch y'all tonight.